been almost a year since I highlighted 7 different projects that I wanted to do at the Epic Homestead. So in today's video, I'm gonna take you around and show you if I actually did do them or not, as well as some projects I didn't think I'd do that I actually did do. So let's get started with the artichoke patch. So last year, I had the artichoke patch, but I hadn't solved a couple of these blank walls. And what I said I'd do, turns out I actually did do. I put up these hanging wall trellises. Right now there's some mandevilla on them, but earlier in the season I had some sweet peas on them. So a really nice touch. The sweet peas had some beautiful fragrance, beautiful color, and then with this little piece of garden lighting, throwing some accent on here in the evenings, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous look. And I also mentioned that I wanted to have an option for when the artichokes die off in the season. That is what's happening right now. You can see a couple are trying to come back, throw a couple more chokes out. For the most part, artichokes are done. So what I decided to do this season is put in a ton of my friend Sunflower Steve's sunflowers to come up, die off in the fall. Then I can cut it all back and perhaps put in some sort of cover crop. So mark one off for me because I actually completed this project. The next project I thought I'd do, this one's a fail, I already know I didn't do any of it, is improving this fence a little bit further. What I thought might be nice is to put a cap on that maybe you could rest a drink on if you were harvesting out here, or just to tidy up this look. It just wasn't a priority, but the thing I'm a little bit bummed that I didn't do is I also said I would take some sort of corten steel edging and put it here so that the overflow of mulch would have some sort of nice border, and maybe it would help control some of this Bermuda grass that keeps just absolutely exploding no matter how many times we rip it out. So this was a bit of a fail, but the next project I did complete, and it gives me some much needed privacy. So this next project, when I first moved into this home, there was absolutely nothing here. I wanted to build a gate, we got the gate done, and I have to say these little accents look really nice. And not only that, but I put in a security lock so I can just go ahead and press lock, and no one can open that unless you know the code. But then when you come inside, this entire area was actually visible to the street, and because we make content, people sometimes show up. So I felt like this was a mandatory expense to put in the homestead. It was not very cheap, but I wanted something tall that blocked off vision, and I also even put in some security. So it wasn't like my favorite expense to spend here at the homestead, but it does help. I can pull my car back in. I'm gonna put an electric charger back there pretty soon because I just got a new electric vehicle because I have the solar, which is another homestead project. But come along back here, I'll show you yet another one that I failed. Underneath the awning here, I thought I would make a California room because you can see, and this is Charlie on our team, he helps manage some of the media that we are producing for you guys. Say hi, Charlie. How's it going? So what we've tried to do is at least make this room a little bit more enjoyable. You can see it's still uncovered up here, so that looks pretty darn bad, especially because when the people installed the roof, which we made a video about, they screwed right through this. So you just see a bunch of open screws, not ideal. The floor also not ideal, but we have made a couple improvements. So we do have this outdoor work table where we do a lot of our media management. We also have, of course, the seed catalog, and then we can wheel under the seedling table to do some curing and drying. So I would say this is sort of a fail, but it's also a really big project. If I wanted to actually solve this, it would probably cost a good amount of money. I'd want to put some sort of veneer or covering over here, put some can lights in, and then level this floor out. And to be honest, it's just not in the cards right now. But over there is something that we did do. Last year I mentioned that while I absolutely love and adore my Carolina coop, I wanted to give the Epic hens a little room outdoors to play, and I think we've done a pretty damn good job here. You remember the video where we built this out? We actually built a swing gate there, a swing gate on the other side. We protected the back fence so there's no way they can come out. The only thing that happens is Chetty will sometimes fly up to the top here. I've yet to see her realize she can then go out into the garden, but it is something to think about. So I'm probably gonna put some kind of cover right here, especially as the new hens that we have get older. Some of those are even better flyers. Another thing I added here is this little crow platform. So while I feed the hens, I'll show you what I do with the crows. I've been getting gifts from crows for a while now. Here you go, girls. Well, actually, watch this. This is crazy. They'll try to jump through. Like, look at that. They are ravenous animals. But what I learned is the crows that hang up on the telephone wires, I have been communicating with them. I've been bonding with them, and I've actually been getting a ton of different gifts. So if you follow us on like TikTok or Instagram, you've probably seen it. So what I'll do is I put this little platform here, I just put a couple sprinkles there, and then the crows will eat it, and every so often something shows up. In fact, right over here, I'll show you what we've gotten in the last 2 days. We have a nail gun little clip, and also this little weird, I don't know, mason jar top. And you can tell it came from them because number one, I don't own these, but look how much dirt and rust is on the nail. This has come from a construction site somewhere around here, and the crows have dropped it. It was actually right below that platform. Same with this little thing. You can tell it's a little bit rusted, a little bit old. There's little marks in here. It's not like some new thing that I got and just forgot that I put there. So pretty cool. Coop, I would say that's a success. Let's take a look now at the pond where I thought I was going to build a pergola. So here in the pond area, what I thought I would do, and I don't know why I thought this would actually happen in a year's time, is I thought I would build a pergola coming out here, expanding over this patio area, which you remember, this is actually the reservoir. There's water beneath this patio, and then I would have grapes growing up it and some sort of furniture underneath. I did not get that done. What I will say is my girlfriend and I bought an umbrella. So that kind of counts. We'll do a little tanning out here and we get a little bit of shade. But the bigger success in the pond was the overall landscaping. I'm starting to really get into the idea of landscape design. I've been a gardener by trade. I've started to learn, well, what about the artistic side of things, right? Why not actually design? Take a look at this. We put in some beautiful aquatics. This one in particular has gone crazy, this red one, but we have this English thyme, this yarrow, this salvian sage that has really filled in this area. And then most importantly, we have the passion fruit. What we've done is we have created a T-post and mesh array that we've then put on this crazy tie sort of setup to allow the passion fruit to go all the way over and cover the cistern. And I have to say it's working way better than I thought, way faster than I thought. In fact, come over here and you'll take a look. We just set this up literally today. And take a look at this right here. You can see the passion fruit tendrils are already starting to twirl around. That is how fast this plant acts in our climate. Now, those are the things that I thought I would do. I'd say I did a pretty damn good job. Some of them I didn't really succeed on. Most of them I'd say I made some progress, but there's a couple things I didn't even think I would do that are now done, starting with something you've already seen. So the greenhouse was a surprise project. I didn't even think that I would get one in my life, but nevertheless, here it is. And now it's time to maximize it. So what I've decided to do is actually move all of my seedlings over to this side. I'm gonna build a custom bench that's at this height right here, the height of these horizontal slats. So it'll come all the way across and there'll be a double slat below. Then I'll actually put a half depth shelf that is sort of pinned up here. So this will be all my seed starting, perhaps some carnivorous plants, maybe a couple hanging off of these eye hooks. And then over here, what I'll do is I'll grow the coffee, the loquat, the lychee, some of the more tropical stuff as fully greenhouse grown tropicals, because I simply cannot grow them even in my climate here in San Diego. So these shelves will go, a custom one will come in here. I'm gonna put a light right here, a little sort of nighttime ambiance, like some kind of cheap chandelier or something like that. And then I'll also add a couple more hanging things, because if you have a greenhouse space, this is the one from BC Greenhouses, which is one of our favorite builders. Of course, this is a little bit of a deluxe setup, but they have options that are relatively affordable. Not sponsored, just really thankful that they set up this greenhouse for us. So this will be more of the tropical zone. This will be the seed starting zone with maybe some lights, maybe a little music. But I have to show you inside the homestead, which I almost never show you guys. We had a couple really cool upgrades happen, including a pantry. So you guys might recognize this kitchen from some of Jacques and I's cooking adventures. We don't live together, but we do like to cook sometimes. This has been the unlock in the kitchen. So my girlfriend and I both live here. It's not that big of a house. It's like under 1,000 square feet. So what we've done is we have modified and put in a kitchen cabinet that matches this one over here. It wasn't even that expensive because basically this is like a flipped home. You guys remember my flipper mistakes video. So this is relatively inexpensive, but what it has done has unlocked the ability for us to cook, make coffee right here. We got some beautiful flowers and stuff. We even put in these floating shelves where I've got my little bread box for some of my baking adventures. We've got some dried scabiosas just hanging out right here. So this is really cool. It's almost doubled the space, but in the pantry, that is what I'm actually more excited about, because you know we've been storing a lot of different stuff outdoors. Not ideal. So what do I have? Well, I've got a total built-in system now, and I've got my potatoes, baby. I've got potatoes here. I've got all sorts of stuff. Before, this was a ratty old bookshelf right here that went up to about here that a rat literally kept crawling in and like eating. So now I have this built-in system, again, not super expensive, and it's not even full yet. I gotta figure out how to actually organize the pantry. And what I did is I matched that sort of countertop over here. And then just another hack, if you're in a small home, just maximize everything. Surfaces, right? So a little laundry dryer countertop that, again, matches that same countertop, so we have a little bit of the same vibe. But this helps so much, because this before was just two systems that like stuff would fall down and all that kind of stuff. So now I can just take my laundry out, fold it right here, have all sorts of stuff to store there, all sorts of stuff to store there. Check this out though, this is pretty cool. If I wanna go to the gray water, which you know we installed, little secret, I can just go like this, boom, now I'm on gray water. If I don't want to, I go there, because I didn't know I was gonna put this in, so we installed that in a way that made me have to build this. But you wouldn't have even known, right? So a lot of different things have happened here at the homestead. I'm curious what you think. Is there anything you think I'm missing? Some cool stuff I should build, some stuff you have questions on. I'm happy to dive deeper. Till next time though, good luck in the garden and keep on growing.